Negotiations resumed today between Henry Ford Health and Teamsters Local 332 as registered nurses and caseworkers continue to strike at Henry Ford Genesys Hospital.
TV5's Zane Omer went to the picket line today to hear how they're doing a week after Labor Day and where negotiations stand. Zane?
Chet and Meg, both sides are back at the bargaining table. Henry Ford Health says a federal mediator has been brought in to assist with negotiations. However, the Teamsters president says today's negotiations were unproductive. Today marks day 10 of the strike outside of Henry Ford Genesys.
When I became a nurse, I never ever thought that I would ever go on strike because we take care of people. But the hospital systems have turned into a business and not into the caring that it ever used to be.
Nurses and caseworkers with Teamsters Local 332 walking out of the Grand Blanc Township Hospital after months of negotiations failed to reach a contract.
It's been hard. I've been out here in the rain, the wind, keeping morale going because we've lost our insurance. We're just living off our strike pay right now. And they're back at the table, but we don't know what's going on over there.
I thought that they would come to an agreement by May or June, and here we are striking. But I don't think anybody wants to strike, but it just got so bad that it needed to be done.
Union President Dan Glass has said a sticking point has been nurse-to-patient ratios, a concern reflected on signs on the picket line.
Since COVID, we have been overgrid with patients taking extras, which is against our contract. And that's just not right. They're making their own rules with whatever they want to do.
The more nurses there are, the better outcomes for all the patients, which is what we're out here fighting for.
A spokesperson for Henry Ford Health says negotiations are continuing over the ratios and a clause making Teamsters eligible for premium pay based on the number of patients they care for each day. The spokesperson tells us the clause does not guarantee ideal ratios and may incentivize call-offs, decreasing the number of nurses available to patients. Henry Ford Health also says research indicates mandated ratios increase wait times, delay transfers into ICUs, and require clinically unnecessary transfers between hospitals. However, Glass says Henry Ford Health does not seem interested in addressing the concerns of their RNs as nurses await the fate of their contract for another day.
What keeps me going is that things need to be right for our patients, for our community, for the entire medical field. I hope that they come to an agreement soon and we can end this.
In a statement, Henry Ford Health says the safety and well-being of patients and team members is always a top priority, and they remain committed to listening, understanding, and trying to find a resolution. Meanwhile, Glass says the union stands committed to working through these issues and will not settle for anything less than what membership deserves. Glass says they are waiting for more dates from the employer to return to the table. Until then, the strike will continue around the clock.